When Fairfax County Police responded to a routine noise complaint at 78-year-old Eleanor Hayes' home, they expected a quick resolution, but their fatal shooting of the elderly widow sparked a firestorm, especially when they discovered her son was Colonel Nathan Hayes, a Delta Force commander whose reputation for precision and retribution left the department trembling. Eleanor Hayes, a 78-year-old widow, lived at 27 Maple Drive in Fairfax, Virginia, where she had resided for over 2 decades. A retired librarian, Eleanor was known for hosting a lively book club that occasionally drew complaints from neighbors due to late-night laughter and music. On March 12, 2024, at 9:30 p.m., a neighbor contacted the Fairfax County Police Department to report excessive noise from Eleanor's home. Officers Daniel Brooks, 29, and Michael Torres, 32, both with under 5 years' experience, were dispatched to address the issue. The officers arrived at 9:47 p.m. and knocked on Eleanor's door. She answered promptly, explaining that her book club was celebrating a member's birthday and would quiet down soon. Officer Brooks cited the county's noise ordinance, insisting on immediate compliance. Eleanor, frustrated by the officer's tone, raised her voice, asserting her right to host guests. When she reached for her phone to call her son, Officer Brooks shouted for her to stop, drawing his weapon. Officer Torres, reacting to his partner's alarm, fired 2 shots, striking Eleanor in the chest. She collapsed in her doorway and was pronounced dead by paramedics at 10:03 p.m. Additional officers arrived within minutes, securing the area. The 6 book club members inside, aged 65 to 82, provided statements, confirming Eleanor was unarmed and had posed no threat. The Fairfax County Police Department issued a statement at 11:15 p.m., describing the incident as an officer-involved shooting under investigation. Officers Brooks and Torres were placed on administrative leave, and Internal Affairs Division began reviewing body camera footage. By morning, news of the shooting spread across Fairfax. Neighbors gathered outside Eleanor's home, leaving flowers and candles. Local media outlets, including Woosa 9 and the Washington Post, reported the story, prompting community outrage. Posts on X described Eleanor as a beloved figure and questioned the officers' actions. Protesters assembled outside the police headquarters, holding signs reading "Justice for Eleanor" and "Stop Police Violence." Unbeknownst to the officers, Eleanor's son, Colonel Nathan Hayes, was a 46-year-old Delta Force commander stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Nathan, a 22-year veteran with commendations for valor in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, received a call at 1 a.m. on March 13 from a family friend about his mother's death. He requested emergency leave and drove 300 miles to Fairfax, arriving at the police headquarters at 8 a.m. Still in his fatigues, Nathan's presence commanded attention. The desk sergeant, recognizing his military insignia, alerted Chief Margaret Ellison. Nathan met with Chief Ellison, demanding to view the body camera footage and speak with the officers involved. The chief, after verifying Nathan's credentials, arranged for him to watch the footage in a private room. The video showed Eleanor's compliance, her frustration, and the moment she reached for her phone. Officer Brooks' shout and Torres' gunfire followed in seconds. Nathan noted the officer's inexperience and failure to de-escalate, points he raised with the chief. "My mother was no threat," he said. "This was a failure of training and judgment." Word of Nathan's identity spread through the department. Officers Brooks and Torres, informed by their union representative, reacted with unease. Brooks confided to a colleague that he felt terrified, knowing they had killed the mother of a Special Forces commander. Torres, shaken, became withdrawn, aware of Nathan's reputation for precision and influence within military and government circles. The Fairfax County Police Department faced intense scrutiny. On March 15th, Nathan met with County Prosecutor Angela Martinez, providing a detailed analysis of the footage, highlighting procedural errors, including the officers' failure to identify themselves clearly and their lack of non-lethal options. Nathan retained attorney Sarah Goldman to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the department. Meanwhile, protests grew, with community activists organizing daily demonstrations. Media coverage expanded, with CNN and NBC News picking up the story, emphasizing Nathan's Delta Force background. The investigation revealed troubling details. Officer Brooks had 3 prior complaints for aggressive behavior, though none resulted in discipline. Officer Torres had completed de-escalation training, but admitted in a statement that he reacted instinctively when Eleanor moved. The body camera footage, released publicly on March 18th, showed Eleanor's hands raised before the shots, contradicting the officer's initial claims of a threat. This fueled public anger, with ex-post calling for criminal charges and systemic reform. On March 20th, a grand jury indicted Brooks and Torres on charges of involuntary manslaughter. The decision sparked debate. Some residents felt the charges were insufficient, while others believed the officers acted under pressure. Nathan, speaking to reporters, said, "No outcome will restore my mother, but accountability is the first step." The trial began on June 10, 2024, in Fairfax County Circuit Court. Nathan testified, describing Eleanor's dedication to her community and the devastating impact of her loss. He presented a report compiled with former military colleagues, critiquing the department's use of force policies. The prosecution highlighted the officers' failure to follow protocol, while the defense argued they acted in self-defense, citing Eleanor's sudden movement. The body camera footage, played repeatedly, undermined the defense's case. On July 18th, the jury convicted both officers of involuntary manslaughter. Brooks was sentenced to 5 years, Torres to 4, with parole eligibility after 2. Nathan addressed the court, stating, "My mother's death was preventable. I will ensure her legacy drives change." The sentencing hearing drew national attention, with media outlets noting Nathan's composed yet commanding presence. The fallout reshaped Fairfax County's policing. Chief Ellison announced reforms, including mandatory de-escalation training, crisis intervention programs, and stricter oversight of officer conduct. The department settled the wrongful death lawsuit for $3.2 million, which Nathan directed to the Eleanor Hayes Foundation, established to support victims of police violence. Community forums were held, with Nathan attending several to advocate for transparency and accountability. Officers Brooks and Torres faced personal repercussions. Brooks relocated to another state, seeking to escape public scrutiny. Torres entered counseling, struggling with the weight of Nathan's influence. The department, wary of further backlash, implemented a civilian review board, a direct response to Nathan's advocacy. Eleanor's home was sold, with proceeds funding the foundation's initiatives, including scholarships for social justice studies. Nathan returned to Fort Bragg but remained active in Fairfax, speaking at events about police reform. The community, once fractured, began to heal, though the memory of Eleanor's death lingered. The Fairfax County Police Department continued to grapple with the incident's impact. Training programs were overhauled, with a focus on de-escalation and cultural sensitivity. The Civilian Review Board, established in August 2024, included community leaders and former law enforcement, ensuring independent oversight. Nathan's involvement ensured the board had teeth, with authority to recommend disciplinary actions. Media coverage persisted, with outlets like the New York Times publishing in-depth pieces on the case, highlighting Nathan's role in driving reform. Ex-post praised his restraint, noting that a man of his training could have sought vengeance but chose justice instead. The Eleanor Hayes Foundation grew, funding legal aid for families affected by police misconduct and hosting workshops on community policing. The officer's conviction set a precedent in Virginia, prompting other departments to review their protocols. Nathan met with state legislators, advocating for a bill requiring mandatory body camera use and stricter use of force guidelines. The bill, dubbed Eleanor's Law, passed in January 2025, a testament to Nathan's influence. Community members reflected on Eleanor's legacy. Her book club, led by friend Margaret Cole, continued meeting in her honor, discussing books on justice and resilience. Neighbors organized an annual memorial at 27 Maple Drive, where a plaque was installed reading, "In memory of Eleanor Hayes, a voice for community, a call for justice." Nathan's Delta Force colleagues supported him quietly, respecting his decision to pursue legal avenues. His commanding officer, General Robert Klein, praised his restraint, noting that Nathan's actions honored his mother's memory more than any retaliation could. Nathan, in a rare interview, said, "My training taught me protect, not destroy. I owe it to my mother to fight for what's right." The Fairfax County Police Department implemented annual training audits, ensuring officers met new standards. Chief Ellison, under pressure, resigned in September 2024, replaced by Deputy Chief Laura Simmons, who prioritized community engagement. The department's budget for training doubled, funded partly by reallocating resources from militarized equipment. Protests dwindled as reforms took hold, but the community remained vigilant. Nathan's presence at town halls kept the pressure on, ensuring promises were kept. The Eleanor Hayes Foundation expanded, partnering with national organizations to advocate for police accountability.